88.1 The Berg, your music central, as well as the Central Washington University Athletics live stream. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. I am Ryan Gildersleeve, and I will act as your rules and referee coordinator for tonight's action as I turn it over to the rest of the broadcast crew for what should be an incredible action-packed afternoon of rugby. As Cash, would you like to introduce yourself and our remaining broadcast team for this one?
Absolutely. Cash Brown joined here by Jackson Roberts on color commentary for the WSRN's first ever coverage of Central Washington University rugby. Today, playing the Cal Poly Mustangs, and they are coming off a huge win. So a lot of momentum here for Cal Poly, and they've played a lot more games than Central has. The snow is falling down here at Tomlinson Stadium and Steve Hertling Field, and the national anthem is about to begin. Welcome back on into the Wildcat Sports Radio Network. Cash Brown joined here by Jackson Roberts and Ryan Gildersleeve. Jackson, can you tell us a little bit more about Cal Poly's last two games as kickoff is just about underway here at Tomlinson Stadium?
Well, Cash, 218 points have been scored in their past two games, 120 to 10, and then 106 to 0 victory. Absolute domination by the Mustangs.
And Central Washington with a high short kick to get things off here. Like you said, Cal Poly with dominant performances in their last two games. They look to keep that momentum here as there's a bit of a bobble and a clearance kick. Central will field it, and that was a bit of a miscue there as well. The fullback trying to take it up the middle.
Not going anywhere there. Too much great defense by the Mustangs. They're going to get a hold of it.
Yeah, it looks like there's a penalty there called by the ref. As a whole lot of room rumbling forward is Cal Poly.
Kobe Baker with plenty of space in front of him, able to make it work with his legs.
Still trying to rustle forward. And Cal Poly already knocking on the door of Central Washington University. Good, strong tackling by Charlie Platt. And another penalty called. Looks like there might have been advantage there for a moment for Central Washington, or for Cal Poly.
Offsides on that one.
Offsides. Interesting. Got a little too far forward there, did Central Washington, and that kick will go out of bounds. So the line out incoming for Cal Poly. And you know at this level, they love to get into that maul right around the try line. We'll see if Cal Poly tries to do something like that here.
Well, not only is Cal Poly coming off two back-to-back big games, they are also ranked number 16 in the country, too. So it'd be big if the Crimson and Black could take down a ranked team here today.
Jack Zilligan with the toss in. And deflection is there. He leveled. A good play there by Malachi for Central Washington as he gets decked, trying to make a play on that ball and cause the turnover, which it seems he did. So Central Washington making a stand here if they can clear this one out, and they will. So that one going to go straight into touch from behind the 22, so a line out from where it went out. We'll see where the side judge wants to put that at.
Good field position swap right there. Was backed up in our own 22, and then now about at the midfield mark.
So the line out here for Central Washington, and unable to keep it as Cal Poly's going to regain possession, trying to get in on the ruck, unable to do so. Another bobble, but Cal Poly able to maintain possession. You got to wonder if the snow coming down here is having any sort of effect on how these players can catch the ball.
That's absolutely what it's got to be. I mean, we're seeing so many bobbles occurring right now from both teams. So snow is coming down. Got to credit these players for fighting through it, too. It's not going to be an easy game today, Cash.
So it looks like it might have been a knock on there from Cal Poly, and a scrum is awarded to Central Washington. Most likely trying to clear it out here if they're able to get it to the outside. Scrum, set, and just a pick and go there, taken down, and Central Washington penalty called.
Yeah, ball gets stripped out there, but I believe.
We got a call there, Ryan?
Well, we definitely do. I will say a little bit of bobbled transmission on the end of the referee to my earpiece, though I can affirm that a call was called against the Wildcats.
And a good kick there by Jack the Dragon, trying to play territory here. And Cal Poly trying to muscle their way back. They were knocking on the door, but Central Washington with a stand earlier, trying to rip that ball out. And still trying to gain some momentum. The clearance here from Cal Poly, and that one's going to go straight into touch. So he was in front of the 22, which means that will be from the spot of the kick, it looks like.
I think you'll be right.
And I don't know, they're saying maybe it did. Yeah, so straight into touch. So Central Washington will get the line out from the spot of the kick. And a bit of a mistake there from Cal Poly as they set up Central Washington in good territory.
Campbell Robb looking to throw this in for the Crimson and Black. Matter of when they get set up. Another 5-man line out.
Looks like they're going to try and hoist Durson here. And they switch off. Here's the line out. Central Washington will get it and go straight into the maul. Moving forward. Trying to keep momentum. And they will. Central Washington still barreling forward here. A good physical maul that is still going for Central Washington. That comes to an end as they'll reset and try to get some space to the outside. Right up the gut. Now Central Washington knocking on the door. And that one contested a little bit as he tried to get it out of the ruck. Still on his feet and rumbling forward. Good aggressive running here from Central Washington. And there's a bit of a grubber that's intercepted by Cal Poly. It looks like there may have been a call on the field. Any info on that, Ryan?
Once again, transmission just not working well here between our communication devices from our broadcast booth and the referees. Everything feeling a little bit chopped up here.
Yeah, well, that was great defense by Cal Poly, but also a good job of the Crimson and Black, still trying to drive through it, just not enough.
So off the penalty kick, they'll go straight into touch and try and get a line out here close to the try line. We've already seen them try and maul out of the line out already. We'll see if that's what they want to do again here. Able to get it, and the maul does start. Central Washington trying to get as much push as they did last time. It looks like Cal Poly making a bit more of a stand here.
Yeah,
and the maul getting sorted out. Ball is loose. Out of the ruck is Central Washington. And that one, dirty ball picked up by the Wildcats. Maybe trying to find some space to the outside. They're trying to get up the gut here.
We've got a lot of agile wingers. I want to see us maybe kick it out to one of those guys.
And here is the fullback trying to make something happen down the touchline. Taken down. And Central Washington maybe trying to switch field a bit here. Still on his feet. Good running
Doing a good job of maintaining possession,
Offsides.
though.
And we've got an offsides call here. Looks like it'll be against.
I would think Cal Poly.
Yeah. So getting a little too antsy there on that ruck was Cal Poly.
I'm seeing a lot of great physical play from the Crimson and Black, though. They're trying to push it down the middle. Cal Poly's not really having much of it. It looked like it was working a little bit at first, but made a very quick adjustment was the Mustangs. So now the Wildcats are going to have to find another way to get past the defense.
Current discussions right now talking about the exact technique that was used on a push within that ruck. So now Central Washington with the ball in hand and priority here about, say, 10, 15 meters away from the goalposts.
And look who we have, what looks like is kicking the ball.
Yeah, it looks like Dragon will try to just convert here. Jack Tregoning.
We were told one of the strongest legs in college rugby.
Certainly one of the better fly halves in the country.
That left boot is well renowned.
And we'll see if he can convert this one here. Tregoning up, and that one is good. So Central Washington gets on the board here with 3 points. Jack Tregoning, the Dragon, as they like to call him over here in Ellensburg, with a nice conversion there.
Not only with an amazing leg to his game, he's also very quick, and we can see him kind of fly down the field. He was actually the one who sealed the victory last week against the Vikings, the Victoria Vikings, as the Wildcats finished that one with a 38-29 victory.
This one stumbling along. Central Washington just trying to clear this one out of here. A good boot. But Cal Poly in good attack position here. They've got some space. Trying to dish it out to their winger. And that looks like Thomas Hardenov had it on the outside. Unable to get anything going there down the sideline. And yeah, like you said, just a lot of physical play going on here. And a bit of a grubber that looks like it might be successful, playing with the ball at his feet. Can he beat him there? The answer is no, as Tregoning is able to fall on it. A good attempt at a play there by Cal Poly. Now Central Washington, with their backs against the wall, most likely trying to clear this one out of here the second they can.
It's a matter of finding space, but there's just none of it.
You love to see Tregoning showing off the versatility on both ends of the pitch.
And that one will go into touch. So the boot away, Central Washington able to get a little bit of breathing room. And Cal Poly so far knocking on the door twice, unable to get in either time.
See what their tactic's going to be here out or off of the line out. If they choose to go into a maul or if they're going to try to kick it outside. Wildcats got a lot of people kind of defending the perimeter. See if that stays the same here.
And the line out taken by the front pod. Advantage was given. There's a dirty ball that Central Washington may have fallen on. And it looks like they have. So the advantage ends, I believe, as they lost possession. And this one should go back to Cal Poly. Did you happen to get the call there, Ryan?
Well, once again, it's murky transmission here. I wish
You
that I
know,
could give you a brighter outlook.
Yeah, I'll stop asking. You just let us know if you hear something, all right?
Oh, I'll try my very best. Let me tell you, the comm systems around here need slight upgrades.
Must be the snow.
Must be the snow. And it appears a scrum is awarded here. Set. About to begin, and the scrum starts. And quickly taken out by Cal Poly, trying to find some room. And given to the winger, who's trying to make a man miss, stays on his feet, still rumbling down.
Vanderkloot.
And almost losing the ball, but not quite. It looks like they might call a knock on there. And that'll be awarded to Central Washington.
Well, Wildcats, while they may not play too much in some snow, they do have the home field advantage and also the cold advantage, as Cal Poly, obviously from California, not used to this type of cold weather, especially in their play. So hopefully the Crimson and Black use that to their advantage.
Yeah, we haven't seen as many dropped balls as we did at the start of the match.
Getting accommodated with the weather conditions.
And so the scrum awarded to Central Washington after the knock-on. At least that's what it appeared to be. And there is a whistle again. Something wrong with the scrum that our referee here did not like. So reset that one here. And it's Malachi Takbian, the scrum half, who's going to be throwing this one in. Central Washington probably just trying to get this one cleared out again. Try to get it to the Dragons' boot. And instead, that looked like a ball that was knocked out. It might have been a knock-on. Advantage given to Cal Poly. An attempted skip pass that's intercepted by Central Washington. And that was Sam Dwyer.
On the defensive end, making things happen, but...
So it looks like advantage was given to Cal Poly at the start of that one. They'll get the ball back here. It looks like a scrum will set up.
Yet another scrum. Got to stay disciplined on the defensive end, too. Cannot be committing too many of these penalties, which are going to allow them to make some plays off of these scrums, too. Eventually, they're in good field position.
So, story of the match so far, Cal Poly still knocking on the door, trying to make something happen and convert this good territory into points. Patty Casey out of the scrum, tossing it out. And Cal Poly inching forward here, gaining territory. Central Washington going to have to make a stand. And that's a good double shoulder right there by Central Washington. 2 men in on that one.
A lot of good tackling. It's just a matter of if the Mustangs are going to be able to use their feet and agility to get past these defenders. It does not seem like it. Big hit.
Stout defense from Central Washington, not allowing them to go any further. And that one's bobbled up, but it's maintained by Cal Poly. That's Jack Zilligan who was able to keep that one. And another stoppage in play here.
The ruck is called for by the referee.
So the scrum here beginning. And maybe another knock-on by Cal Poly. We'll see who he awarded the scrum to.
Zilligan just looked up and the ball was in his hands.
It looked like Malachi Takbian is going to be awarded the scrum here. So Central Washington, again, just trying to find any sort of breathing room to get this ball out of here. You got to think Tregoning's the target here to kick this one out, and he will be. And that's a good boot.
Line drive.
With a nice Central Washington bounce. And a good play there by the fullback to try and get it in, but it looks like he may have been on the touchline. So we'll see who's awarded the line out here if that is in fact what will occur, and it will.
Yeah, Campbell Robb's going to be lining up to throw it in for the line out. Campbell Robb, your vice captain for today's game. Sam Dwyer will be the captain.
And having a kicker like Tregoning to put you in these kind of positions, to get that line out back, just putting them in bad positions to field the ball. And now, just like that, Central Washington has totally flipped field position and has a chance here to get aggressive, try to put some more points on the board. Back pod, into the maul. Trying to push forward. Still going. Arms are raised. Central Washington pushing forward.
Make a man miss.
And still rumbling forward. Tregoning trying to get that one up, contested and maintained by Central Washington.
Oh, now we got a stoppage of play.
We got a stoppage here. Sam Dwyer, the captain, one of the better wingers in the country over there, making a good play to toss that one back, but like you said, a stoppage in play here. We'll see what's awarded. It looks like a scrum.
The stoppage is going to result in a scrum that is rewarded as the knock-on goes against the Mustangs.
So the Mustangs with a knock-on. Central Washington trying to capitalize on good field position. Dwyer to throw it in. Takpian to throw it in.
Last time we were in this position, we came away with 3 points off the leg of the Dragon. See if maybe we can find our way down to the try line, give us 5 more to the board.
And in what is such a physical game, you got to think Central Washington most likely going to take those penalty kicks and just try to get 3 on the board.
Points
here.
are not going to be coming easy today, as we're seeing how difficult it already is to move the ball. Defense is very stout so far.
And the snow starting to pile up in a slight coating. We'll see if that affects the footing at all on this turf. Central Washington quickly trying to get something going. And there was Connor moving forward, determined, shoving by these Wildcats.
Trying to break it loose on the outside end now.
Just not able to do so, but ever inching forward are the Wildcats.
Meter by meter, got to get there.
Tregoning with a dish off here to Campbell. Campbell taken down. There's Durson.
Got 2 minutes till half.
40-minute halves here.
40-minute halves, apologies.
Halfway to halftime in
Yes.
2 minutes.
Quarter of the way through.
And that one, a turnover as that ball comes loose. And Cal Poly able to make a stand there and trying to clear straight into touch.
Comes in our direction.
Almost hitting the booth up here.
And the snow is really coming down now. We thought it was falling earlier. And like you said, Cash, it's kind of leaving a blanket over the field. Footing is going to be an issue. We're already seeing catching be a problem, but also throwing the ball as well is not going to be easy so far.
So after contesting the clear, not a whole lot of ground salvaged by Cal Poly as Campbell Robb here to throw the line out.
It was good contest by the Crimson and Black.
It appears on that last one, the referee checking in with the Wildcat 5-man to make sure that there wasn't an injury sustained on the play. Definitely something to watch.
And determined running from Oscar Treacy. And then good tackling by Cal Poly. So territory gained in a race just like that. Central Washington trying to get it back. And it looks like a penalty awarded here to Central Washington, to Cal Poly.
And Treacy seems a little bit injured right now, shaking up.
Yeah, Treacy, after that really good run, limping forward. Looks like he's trying to walk it off. Maybe a bit of a Charlie horse there.
These guys are tough. They're going to fight through whatever adversity they've got to face.
No kidding.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's one of us in this broadcast booth that could take even one hit from one
No,
of these men in
absolutely
30-degree
not.
weather.
So the scrum here awarded to Cal Poly. Assumingly trying to clear this one out, they won't.
Oh, wow.
And a good tackle. Strong hitting from Central Washington. And straight into it. Gaining a little bit of territory here is Cal Poly trying to get some breathing room. And here comes the clear. That one taking a good bounce for Cal Poly as it goes into touch. So Central Washington with a line out right around the midfield mark.
Dragoning thought about taking that one, maybe running with it, but thought the more logical decision would be getting the ball into the hands of Campbell Robb for another line out. See if we maybe see another maul right after this. It's kind of been their go-to play after the lineouts.
Central Washington has been successful so far on the lineouts today. Looks like it might be headed for the back pod. They move up to the front. And the maul does begin. Central Washington trying to gain ground. Moving forward. And losing some territory here will be Central Washington.
Again, visual discomfort for the Wildcat 5-man, Charlie Platt.
And Tregoning with a good boot. The fullback for Cal Poly giving one right back. It's in a good spot, fielded by Central Washington, trying to find some room down the outside, and the fullback kicking it forward, trying to get a good bounce, but it's fielded by Cal Poly.
Good job of Julian DeRafael.
So an unsuccessful pass that is recovered by Cal Poly off of the breakaway.
The backline defense was just there.
And advantage given, rumbling forward, trying to find a man to give it to. He's going to pass this one to the outside. Who will get there first? It is the Wildcats.
Sam Dwyer was able to collect that one.
So difficult to turn that momentum around when you're chasing after the ball.
Especially with all this snow on the ground. Footing hasn't appeared to be too big of an issue yet, but the Wildcats here to clear it out with Tregoning. Another good kick, fielded by Cal Poly. And Julian trying to take it up the middle here as he's still going, running through a man. The fullback putting in the dirty work.
Breaking tackle after tackle. He's just able to keep fighting.
And just like that, Cal Poly in good position here, trying to spread out this Wildcat defense. Just always looking for those numbers. And just inching forward here is Cal Poly. We'll see if they try to get this one to the outside at any point, but it looks like they're content to just run this one up the middle.
It's working, too.
It is working. Meter by meter, Cal Poly is marching, and it looks like a penalty. So that'll stop that. And it's awarded to Central Washington. No. Was it awarded to Cal Poly?
Well, it appears from what I'm hearing from our referee transmissions that the Wildcats do receive the ball here. What I'm hearing is a bit of a hold that would have stopped Cal Poly in their tracks there.
So off the penalty kick, Central getting a little bit of breathing room as that ball goes into touch. And the line out here for the Cats.
Waiting to see another big play break loose like Cal Poly just had, but for the Crimson and Black. Been kind of lacking those explosive plays so far. We've been getting kind of a little bit by little bit, keep on going forward, but none of those big-time plays yet.
Definitely a forward-heavy matchup so far. Wingers not getting too involved on either side yet. And the maul beginning out of the lineout. A staple of Central Washington play as they are pushing and still gaining territory. And here is Tregoning to kick this one away. In the clearance,
Wow.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
And the Dragon flipping field position extremely well. Cal Poly trying to do the same. Fielded by Central Washington. The fullback. That's Benji Ward.
We just getting carried.
And another penalty awarded to Central Washington. Tregoning.
He was just dragging him along right there.
We'll see how much he trusts his boot. Not going to try for the three here. Probably just send this one straight into touch, and he will in excellent field position for Central Washington. So the line out. This could be a big one here.
Well, not only does he have such a strong leg, it is deadly accurate, too, from what it looks like. Able to pin it down in the corner. We also saw him find the soft spot on the defense on that clear just a moment ago, too.
Successfully fielding the line out. And Central Washington mauling forward. Still with the forward momentum. And breaking loose is Campbell. Campbell in for the try. So Central Washington puts 5 more on the boards off the back of Campbell Robb, the big hooker, getting in for the try. He had one in Central's last game as well against the Vikes. So Tregoning here to try and convert and add 2 on. Central Washington with the first try of the night.
And, you know, it was interesting on their way to that try. Of course, I would say that up until that point, of course, the scoreboard might not have supported it, but the Wildcats definitely were not winning the meter matchup up until then.
No, you're precisely right, but finally able to capitalize off good field position.
Searching for another two.
You got to think that the boot Tregoning had earlier really set that up, the way he was able to flip field position. And here is the conversion attempt. It looks like it will go well left. It is quite windy and horrific weather here in Ellensburg today, so no fault on Tregoning there.
The snow is coming down sideways almost right now, and it's really becoming more than a factor than I think either of us thought it was going to be today. We were looking at the weather report, not sure if we were going to see snow, but man, is it falling down. And to an extent, I'm sure these players got to love it too. This has got to be a fun little change to the game, but also I know it's kind of hindering a lot of their abilities here out on the rugby pitch.
And like you said earlier, this freezing cold weather, probably not something Cal Poly is accustomed to.
It's got to hurt being out there right now.
No
so
kidding.
You're freezing, you're getting drilled in the arm.
Especially on this turf, which is never fun to get tackled on. So flipping this one here, Central Washington sending it right back. No line out necessary as there was no contention. And play will continue. Trying to find some space. And again, cleared out. And not able to be fielded. So Central Washington with a chance to get down in good field position. Trying to make something happen. And the contested clear is going to be taken by Triaci. They call him the Ferrari because he can move down the sideline. And taken down. So over by the left try line, Arona was taken down. Central Washington trying to get back to the try line, and a good dish off there. And taken down just before the try line was Daniel McQuaid. And it looks like we're waiting on the signal here.
The loose head prop was close to scoring. Did he reach
Certainly
the try line?
Was close. We're not exactly sure. So knocking on the door are the Wildcats. And a penalty kick here. No, it was not. No kick attempt from Central Washington, just trying to get that one to the outside, losing a bit of territory, and trying to gain it back as he mauls forward. That ball's loose and knocked out. Penalty going to be awarded here to Cal Poly on what might have been a knock-on.
I believe so. He was on the ground, and it kind of got bumped forward.
Kellen Lefebvre trying to get that one forward. And it looks like...
Well, if the Crimson and Black lost possession in here, that's not good because we were so close to adding another 5 onto the board right there. A 13-0 lead would have been huge for the momentum swing.
And unable to get any communication there from the ref, but it looks like it is actually awarded to Central Washington. So kicking this one straight into touch. They want to get a line out. Most likely straight into a maul here for Central Washington as Tregoning kicks that one out.
That might be the most effective way to get a score here down when you're so close to the try line, just meters away.
And we'll see where they want to go. Towards the back. And the maul does begin. Central Washington gaining some ground, trying to get in, and they're certainly close. And they are in for the try. So Central Washington extending this lead here. Couldn't quite tell who made the try line through that maul.
Bodies on top of bodies.
But Central Washington winning the physicality aspect of this game so far, as Tregoning will try to hit the conversion here. He missed the last one, and the weather certainly playing a factor here.
Surely a better angle on this one than he had on that last one. Of course, they went out just a little bit further towards that touch line on the last one.
See him right about on the 20-yard line.
What would be the 20-yard line?
What would be the 20-yard line in football? Again, a little difficult to see any of the markings on the field here from the booth. So probably somewhere around a 25, 30-meter kick here. Tregoning That one may have snuck in. They're going to say no good. So another miss from Tregoning, unable to get either conversion, but the Wildcats lead 13-0.
Cash, I've got a feeling we're not going to see too many conversions today.
I would have to agree. Oh, and we are going to give our station a moment to identify itself before this kickoff, and we will be right back here on the Wildcat Sports Radio Network. So a 13-0 lead here for the Wildcats. Breaking through, the Ferrari still rumbling. Able to break a tackle there. And that is Kellen Lefebvre getting tackled. Durson dishing it out. Trying to find some space up the middle are the Wildcats. And just rumbling forward. And these Wildcats are fired up. As that is a blocked clearance. And he is going to go in for the try.
Kobe Baker, what a play. Defensively turning it into the offensive end. 5 points on the board for the Mustangs.
Put it on the highlight reel with the individual effort, the block, the scoop, and the try, as that puts Cal Poly right back into this match.
Yeah, great job by Cal Poly there, noticing just what was not a great opportunity to kick the ball away, and yeah, they made the most of it. They came right up, and that ball barely made it off the foot before it was heading back in their direction.
I liked what I saw with the Crimson and Black's offense right there. It was very quick decision passing. Just dish it out to the next man, and they were able to break some tackles, break free, and run for a little bit. But just a great play there by Kobe Baker, able to get a hand on it. More than a hand on it, and take it all the way back.
And straight into the scoreboard. Hey, that was expensive. Let's maybe get a net up there.
That's the area where we'll see tries converted, just right down the middle.
Yeah.
If you score right underneath the uprights, you're going to have a very good chance of getting that extra 2 points. That may be a luxury in today's game, depending on where you score.
Well, and just like that, Cal Poly, a try and conversion away from taking the lead here. So a big mistake from Central Washington as Tregoning was stuffed. This one short and high. Fielded by Cal Poly. Dirty ball for a second, but it's recovered. And Cal Poly trying to muscle their way forward. Playing the meters game once again. And pushing forward, refusing to be denied. So now the momentum all in the hands. The skip pass to the outside. He's got some room. Not going to dish this one off, as that was Hardenov with a big territory gain.
Fake pass there.
And this one kicked out. Will they be able to get it? It takes a rough bounce. Way to keep it in play. And the ref calls this one dead.
Well, we've also got a substitution for the Crimson and Black as well. Chris Gross is checked into the game as we look for any other substitutions that have been made as well.
So number 19, Chris Gross, stepping in, and he will be tested instantly in this scrum. Connections always key here as you get down and dirty.
Cal Poly sure was close to, if they broke one more tackle, they would have had another 5 on the board.
So the scrum was awarded to Central Washington. And most likely just going to try to clear this one out. Getting some good push. Connections look strong. Dished out to the weak side and still moving forward. So opting to go for a quick push up as opposed to getting it out into space. Taken down again. Central Washington, bit of a counter ruck there that the ref did not like. And it looks like it'll be awarded to Central Washington once more.
I want to see us play a little bit more of the field position game. I know we just tried to do that, and it kind of got swatted down by Kobe Baker, and he brought it back for 5. But I still enjoyed watching us do that. Put the ball on the leg of the Dragon, let him put you guys in a good position, and then just maul your way home.
not a bad strategy here today, as they're certainly winning the physicality aspect so far, at least down by the try line. But Cal Poly making a stand, as this scrum was awarded to Cal Poly, dishing it off and rumbling forward. That one knocked loose, a knock on, and it'll go to Central Washington. Scrum awarded.
Good offload, but like you said, Cash, scrum is going to be seen once again. Wildcat ball as they lead 13-7. 3 minutes now to go until halftime.
And like we said, connection's the key here in the scrum. Central Washington a little undersized at their forwards, but clearly it doesn't affect them all too much as they get some good push here. This one to Tregoning, and Tregoning away. The Dragon boots it out, received by Julian. Trying to make some work. Fullback, one of the more challenging positions to play. And a good little dish out as Hardenov is going to try and take this one up. And quickly, we are nearing the end of this half. So it's do or die here for either team if they want to score any more points before this one gets taken to the locker rooms.
Oh,
and
man.
A huge run, breaking through, and a good tackle there by Arona. But now Cal Poly in a decent position after the huge run
by Dean Hall.
Dean Hall was moving.
Dean Hall, a familiar name around Central Washington, as it is also the name of one of our
halls,
classroom halls. Dean Hall.
Finds itself on the way to the rugby pitch.
It certainly does. Yeah, I found that. I thought that was pretty funny.
You gotta love a little doppelganger scenario.
Exactly.
He said scenario again, Cash. I'm just
I
bringing
know.
it up.
Well, I know.
It's tomato. I think that
We're,
you fellas
you know what?
can
We're doing rugby. I'm fine with scenario. Right?
Let it slide.
I'll let it slide. But the penalty awarded here to Cal Poly as we tick ever closer to halftime. Just about 50 seconds left to play, unless there's some added time here from the referee. Not too many stoppages and plays outside of the ordinary, so I don't expect too much to be added on, if any at all.
Shout out the Wildcat faithful, too, showing up despite the snow. Quite a few bodies out here.
Great support, as always, here at Tomlinson Stadium, no matter the sport. And even in the dead of winter, like you say.
They're all lined up across the fencing.
Really deep kick.
Not sure if this is going to be an attempted
Ooh, man.
3 points here.
Wind blowing in his direction, too.
Might as well, as we're going into half, and that one will be too far. It had the distance. That one kicked out, and Central Washington is taking this one to half.
Luckily, no consequence for that kick out of the back of the try zone.
And still waiting on the referee's signal. Some confusion here on the pitch.
Referee calls 22.
Oh.
So Siwoo will kick from the 22-meter line. And most likely after this kick is fielded, assuming that it's not botched, this will lead to the end of the half. Still playing that one. Kick straight into touch past the 22. It would be a line out for Central at the spot of the kick if it is not called. And half is called. So at the end of the first half, Central Washington leading 13-7 in a physical, snowy matchup here in Ellensburg. We will be back for second half coverage here in a moment. Welcome back on into the Wildcat Sports Radio Network. Cash Brown joined here by Ryan Gildersleeve and Jackson Roberts as Central Washington leads Cal Poly 13-7. And we have about 5 seconds until the second half is supposed to be underway. Still no sign of Cal Poly out on the field, though.
There they are. I see someone running on.
And here they come.
Yeah,
Well,
you
Jackson.
never heard of the 1v15
Yeah.
second half?
Yeah.
You've heard of sevens rugby. Have you
Yeah.
heard of 15 versus 1?
It's technically 16s, but one team just has a little bit less of an advantage here tonight.
What can you tell us about that first half, Jackson?
Well, I've noticed a lot of, like we said earlier, meter-by-meter play, especially not from the Crimson and Black, not breaking open these big plays. We've seen a little bit, but it's mainly been kind of this field position game, get it to the leg of the Dragon, let him kick it into a spot where we can make a defensive play and then get possession on our own end of the field closer to a try.
Yeah, and you have to think that one kick from Tregoning on their first try just really set up Central Washington in a phenomenal field position. His ability to flip the field it's invaluable.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the Wildcats are going to need to see a lot more of. Once, like I said, get the ball to the Dragon, kick it to the corner, coffin corner it, and then we can maybe maul it into the try or to the try line. I'd like to see a little bit more versatility from our wingers, like I said, breaking plays open, but also that's a testament to Cal Poly's defense, too. They've been very hard-nosed, aggressive, especially in the mauls, too. They're not making it easy for the Crimson and Black. It's not like they're just mauling right through them into the try line, but they're making it difficult, but also we want to see defense continue to stay stout for the Crimson and Black, too, as only one possession game right now.
Yeah, and I agree. The wingers have been a little quiet so far. A couple big plays. We've seen the centers get involved a little bit more. Hardenov had a really good half for Cal Poly with a couple of big runs. But we'll see if anybody can try and break one down the sideline. But you got to think Cal Poly really wanted to keep Oscar Triaci, the Ferrari, and Sam Dwyer under wraps today. They've been able to do that so far.
The snow is still coming down. It's a lot less heavy than it was in the first half, but still going to play a factor as this snowy field is going to be covered.
You know, one thing that I think that the Wildcats need to keep in mind heading into the second half is that really, yes, the Wildcats have looked great tonight, and I think that you can always rely on the Dragon to boot the ball away. You got to have a little bit better selection in when you're going for the exit and if there's anybody in front of you. Really, the Wildcats' momentum started to dwindle in a big way the second that kick got sent back, and it obviously led to a near immediate try for the Mustangs. So I think that while we do have to respect the obvious ability of Dragoni to offload the ball on the kick, we also really need to pay attention to when it is that ball is going to be exited and if they're going to be able to clear a lane with the boot.
Yeah, the defense has been so good. The only points put up on the board from Cal Poly is due to the offense of the Crimson and Black. So got to trust that we can maybe get a lane to when we're going to clear out the ball, and if we feel like we want to clear, pull it back. If we see men jumping at our legs, trying to block that kick, maybe dish it out to an open man and let them use their legs a little bit to break a tackle and use their agility.
And converting near the try line is going to be super important for Cal Poly. Early on in the game, they were able to get down, knocking on the door multiple times, but Central Washington with that stout goal line defense, able to keep them out for a while. So a couple more conversions there, maybe winning the physical battle over towards the try line is going to be important for Cal Poly, as it looks like this half is just about to get underway, warming up a little longer than expected for this kickoff to ensue.
I must say to your point, Cash, earlier about how they got so close to scoring a try earlier multiple times, Wildcats defense just adjusted to that, saw what their plan was, and they have pretty much counteracted that, and that's exactly why Cal Poly's offense has really been struggling to get anywhere near their zone.
Am I seeing the Gangnam Style getting
No, there's a bit of a jig going on down on the field.
Right on the
by
Wildcat
Cal Poly.
logo.
No kidding.
Well, I imagine you got to take just about every opportunity to stay warm when you're playing in 30-degree weather. You got snow pelting you in the face, and you're in shorts and a T-shirt for the most part.
I don't know if Gangnam Style would be my preferred warm-up method, but to each their own. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do it in Cal Poly. I wasn't familiar with their gang.
Their Gangnam style.
I would have expected the Ocho Shuffle
at
half court, but maybe that's just us.
That's just how we do it here in Ellensburg.
Yeah.
It's more of a
You know,
northern kind of
It's a
dance.
northern. That's a northern warm up.
Exactly.
I don't know exactly what they do down there.
Coming next week, a regional breakdown of warm-up jigs.
And Nicho to kick this one away, high and up. Maybe didn't go the 10 meters. And it'll be awarded to Central Washington.
As this is being awarded, a quick look at Central's schedule. They've got some tough matchups. Obviously, number 16, Cal Poly. Next week on Sunday, it's going to be against number 3, St. Mary's. That is going to be an extremely difficult one, followed up by UCLA, and then one more ranked matchup to end the season against number 9, Arizona.
So scrum awarded here to Central Washington after, I believe, the kick did not go 10 meters. And that is why Central Washington will have a chance to dictate the pace of play here early to start the half. A little bit of a bounce pass, and that one blocked again. We talked about how important it was going to be for Central Washington to keep that from happening, and Cal Poly being aggressive at blocking these clearance kicks. The attempted jackal right there, unsuccessful. Central Washington giving this one to Tregoning, who will kick this one away. So able to get that one off. And a good Central Washington bounce. Julian, the fullback, taking this one up. Good physical running. Cal Poly, like we said, this game of meters, they've been really trying to get this one up the gut. And a bit of a dummy pass, and then the offload there. That one will go to Ben Galindo. And a penalty.
Siwu doing a good job of kind of not falling for those dummy passes. They're staying on their man and not creating open space by falling for the dummy pass.
So Nicho Domine to kick this one, assumingly right into touch. And it will get there. So a line out off the penalty kick for Cal Poly.
Definitely not the distance they wanted on that kick, though. Would have liked to get a little bit closer.
It's been a rough showing with the boots since the beginning of the second half.
Yeah, wind is making it very difficult.
So the front pod gets up on the line out and quickly out. Cal Poly looking quick to start this second half of play, rumbling forward. They're getting aggressive, putting shoulder down.
Oh, that looked forward.
And it looked like advantage might have been given there to Central, but they're able to boot and clear this one away. And Cal Poly will do the same. This one staying in play. Tregoning with the boot, trying to find somebody, unable to do so.
Try to use the soft touch there.
And finally, outside, as Hardenov, who's had himself a game so far with a nice offload there to Jack Zilligan, who gets taken down, pushing people off the ruck there and pushing forward. This now in the hands of Brett. And getting over a nice turnover there by Central Washington as they'll regain possession. Taken in by Oscar Triaci. And here is Durson. Tregoning, the Dragon.
Oh, man.
With a brilliant clear.
That's the pinpoint accuracy you want to see. It's just a matter of if Cal Poly gets there to block it.
And the offload here. And a clear that's high and away to the fullback here. Benji Ward taking it up.
Ooh,
high stepping. And a penalty awarded to Cal Poly. So the Mustangs here.
High tackle.
A high tackle.
I don't know what Benji thought he was doing with those high steps. Trying to fake out some defenders.
He might have been hurtling mounds of snow. You
Yeah,
really don't know at this point.
It's starting
really
to build
don't.
up.
May have just lost his footing. Almost slid out. So the scrum awarded here. Off of the high tackle. And Cal Poly maybe looking to clear this one out.
Would not be a bad decision.
As this one goes to the scrum half. No clearance. They want to go forward.
Wow.
And a good tackle, but still pushing forward. Good, aggressive play here by Cal Poly. Just again, really trying to take over that middle of the field. These forwards have been busy today on both sides.
Not allowing them to get much space, though. They're going backwards.
So Central Washington's defense stout so far. Just trying to inch their way forward is Cal Poly. And some extracurriculars around the ruck. And a penalty will be awarded to Cal Poly.
Defense staying strong there. We saw that Cal Poly eventually wanted to kick it outside because of the interior defense.
So Cal Poly hitting this one out. Does not make it into touch. And Dragoning will make him pay with a clearance.
It's your ball, not mine.
So there is Nicho once again trying to take it up the gut, unable to do so.
Farrington with a good strong tackle.
And maintaining possession is Cal Poly, but unable to really move any further than the midfield line of Central Washington. And losing territory here with good, strong tackling.
Double shoulder there. Two big men on the tackle.
And rumbling forward. Like we said, this game of meters, Central Washington desperately trying to regain possession. That ball was loose, and it looks like it'll get called a knock-on in favor of Central Washington. So we have two subs coming in here to start the second half. See if we can get some numbers here. It looks like one of them.
Number 20, that'd be Tio Vavoa, my bad.
So Vavoa steps in, and we were unable to see who the other sub was. We'll let you know as soon as we get a view of the back of the jerseys. So the scrum awarded here to Central Washington after the knock-on by Cal Poly. And finally regaining possession is Central Washington in exactly the part of the field that you want to do so. And that scrum called dead.
It's going to be Sawyer Troupe who is checked into the game.
So Sawyer Troupe in for the forwards who, like we said, have been busy here tonight. Central Washington today carried 6 forwards and 2 backers. Usually it's a 5-3, but I'm sure they anticipated this being a forward-heavy game. Got to have fresh legs out there, especially in weather like this.
And against such a tough team, too.
So they knew the dirty work was going to be happening in the middle of the field today. Good call there by Central Washington with the sub lineup. And Dragoning tries to kick that one. It's blocked again.
Cal Poly's really been ready for it. Anytime the ball gets into the hands of Dragoning, they're watching him be ready to just let it loose and let it fly down the field. That time a bit of a grubber kick he was trying to attempt instead of a clear, but still, nonetheless, it is shut down.
The line out for Central Washington. The back pod lifting up successfully into the maul, and he goes down quickly, but making it out was Viveo. And Dragoning this time with a high up kick, putting his guys on side. A little bit of a bobble, and good moves there from Cal Poly. That was Vanderklugt.
Got him a few extra meters.
And trying to get it outside a little bit here is Cal Poly. Like we said, wingers just really a non-factor so far on both sides in this game. Being minimalized. And breaking through. Looked like that might have been a pick and go from Cal Poly. And they will clear this one away off the foot of Nicho.
Dean Hall almost broke free there.
And a clear right back. See if Nicho decides to do it again. He will not.
Get a little fullback
Sorry,
on fullback action.
That's Julian right there. Yeah, fullback making the tackle on the fullback. And a good double shoulder there by Central Washington.
Also got Kai Jones now into the game.
So some fresh legs in there for the Wildcats. That's a little bit of a trick pass there. It looked like he tried to look like he was going outside. Was not the case. Cal Poly just trying to get over this midfield line of the Wildcats, but a great tackle.
Good
Almost
Lord.
caused a turnover. Connor Grande.
Aggressive defense.
And this
High.
one cleared away.
Skied up there. Oh, and he comes away with it.
Oh, my.
So a great flop of field position and good running there from Cal Poly. As just like that, they get over the midfield mark. But the defense of Central Washington looking good here as they push them back.
I'll tell you what, Kobe Baker's making his name known right now. Was able to run free right there, dragging a couple bodies with him. Also blocked the kick earlier and brought it back for a try. Defense and offense.
The offsides call is going to bring the ball back into the boot, if you will, of the Wildcats as they kick it away.
So off the penalty kick, it'll go straight into touch, and a line-out upcoming for the Wildcats. They've been successful so far in winning those pretty handedly.
We saw before the game they were practicing their lineouts. Didn't look as pinpoint accurate, but hey, I guess the snow's helped a little bit. Been able to secure it, drop it to the ground, tuck it into your jumper, and then you're just mauling forward.
And the maul begins as Central Washington is trying to gain some ground. Standing at the back of the maul that's beginning to lose ground to Cal Poly. And here we go on a little through pass. The winger finally getting involved. And there's a little offload that'll set up Central Washington in great position.
See, in the beginning to that breakaway, it almost looked old Driscoll-like.
Shades.
Shades of O'Driscoll, certainly here for the Wildcats. And a penalty awarded to the Wildcats. So we'll see if they go for the 3 points here.
13-7 sits the score. Crimson and Black looking to extend that.
And this one straight into touch. So the Wildcats with a line out near the try line after the sneaky little play that went forward and finally got the wingers involved. You had to wonder when something was going to break loose on that side. Up for the line out, straight into the maul, and able to keep going, staying on his feet, and in for the try. Unbelievable effort from Baveo.
The substitution coming in and making his efforts felt. Add 5 points to the board.
You know, that's why you got to keep your guys fresh. You got to keep them on the sideline, warm, ready to go, because they come in and they're immediately going to be able to contribute to you, whether it be 5 or whether it be 3.
So extending the lead here. Apologies, Vavao in for the try. The Dragon to add the conversion.
And like I mentioned earlier, this one a little bit more aligned with the posts. Maybe able to just knock this one through with ease is the Dragon.
We saw him get 3 on the board earlier, and there's a good conversion. Like you said, getting in the middle of the field today is going to be important to add those 2 points. And the Wildcats now lead 20-7 with about 15 minutes removed from the start of the second half. So Cal Poly in need of a response here.
The defense has looked so great today. We allowed 29 against the University of Victoria Vikings, but now we're playing a ranked team, and it doesn't even look like their offensive abilities are ranked.
And here is the kickoff. This one a little longer than we're used to seeing, as they've been more short and high up to this point. Strong and tough running there from Oscar Triaci. And Tragoning with a nice little grubber to change territory here. And again, that ever so familiar midfield line where the Wildcats have been making their stands. And they're going to do so again. Huge hit. Oh, and they're going to call a high tackle there.
That one. Yeah, that was a explosive collision.
Yeah, just a little too high there.
He
on
came
the
and
tackle.
laid the boom, but yeah, it's going to be
we've
a penalty.
we've got a player down here for Cal Poly who was on the receiving end of that hit. So not ever the kind of contact you like to see in a match of rugby.
Yeah, the call that went up by the referee before the medical staff made their way onto the field was that requesting a physiotherapist. So we'll see what it is that they're able to bring in off of that.
So we will take a quick break here as things get sorted out on the pitch. It looks like he's at least up, which is good to see. But we'll be right back here in a moment on the WSRN. And we are back as the penalty kick from Cal Poly will go out. They will get a line out in good field position. So over the midfield line at last for Cal Poly as they are in desperate need of a score here.
And Tucker Barth is checked into the game for Cal Poly. Also got Anthony Enos as well.
So the front pod with a good play there. That ball
is out.
Looked parallel, and it's recovered by the Wildcats. And Tregoning muffed it for a second. Advantage was called, though. And I think that it was a forward pass that the ref is calling here. Not entirely sure. But it looked like that ball might have been moving forward, and he was just giving advantage to the Wildcats. But nonetheless, a scrum is awarded. We'll see to who. And I believe this one will go in favor of the Wildcats, and it will. So the Wildcats with a chance to flip field position here. As Cal Poly was knocking on the door. And you got to see if they'll contest the foot of Tregoning here again. They will try unsuccessfully to do so as he gets a beautiful clear out. Cal Poly once again finds themselves wrapped up at the midfield line. Can they advance in open play? It's been the story of the night so far. Stout defense from the Wildcats. And once again, Cal Poly making a little bit of progress here to move forward. And a penalty awarded to the Wildcats. Something to do with the ruck there. Not sure if we're going to be able to get the call on that.
Regardless, possession back into CWU's hands.
And Tregoning going to try and boot this one into touch and get a good line out for the Wildcats. Side judge marks him just in front of the 22.
Puts the Wildcats in a good position. Meters closer to scoring. It's going to be another line out.
Campbell Robb here to toss it in yet again. Line out dominance from the Wildcats so far tonight. And this one, a miscue that's recovered by Cal Poly.
That's a bit what I saw in the pregame activities for CWU. They were kind of missing their man. Just throws a little bit too high from Robb, outreached of the outstretched hands.
So the penalty awarded here to Cal Poly, and the Mustangs will try and flip field position themselves. Off the boot of Nicho, that one will go out, and a line out.
I'll tell you what, if you're a fan here watching rugby, you got to keep your eyes open. These line out kicks are inches away from hitting some fans.
Yeah. Souvenirs aplenty being distributed here tonight.
Jack Zilligan to toss the line out.
Andrew Miller almost got a hand on
and
that line
intercepted by the Wildcats. as the backwards pass is unsuccessful, but penalty given to Cal Poly. So that'll stop any momentum that may have been gained from the Wildcats off of that snag by the defense, as assuming this one will go straight into touch as well.
Luckily, CWU with a 13-point lead with 20 minutes to go here.
This
got to
one,
play strong defense.
This one a little better in terms of where it went out. Good territory gain off the penalty kick.
About at the 28-ish meter line.
And this is where we've seen some of the mistakes from Cal Poly tonight, whether it be penalties or turnovers. And there's another one right there as they just can't get out of their own way in Wildcat territory. Giving him a stiff arm and keep going. Vavao, who had that incredible run earlier, still moving.
Head down, push forward. Oliver Derson is trucking.
And Tregoning will clear this one away. This one a little higher than we're used to seeing.
Oh.
And there's a bit of a sneaky
attempt.
forward pass. And moving forward now over the midfield mark. Pushing forward now. Cal Poly with a bit of momentum. Like we said, desperately in need of a score. And a good move there.
Oh,
and that
loose.
ruck contested. And that ball is out, but it's regained. Oh, and a low hit there. Low hit by Andrew Miller, who leveled Peter as he was trying to get that one out.
That's the dangerous part of contesting those clears, too. That was so close to what you would think would be a very painful injury, but instead these guys are strong, and like I said earlier, they are tough. They will fight through anything, and that's a perfect example right there.
Yeah, that couldn't have felt good on the shins of Peter Mazalewski.
Surprised these guys don't wear shin guards.
Yeah, you'd think. But the scrum awarded to Cal Poly. And desperately trying to get this one going. Only about 18 and a half minutes left to play here.
It's definitely not panic time, but you've got to get something moving. You got to get some type of momentum. You haven't scored since the first half.
And the scrum begins. It's set.
Ooh, good
And
plays.
the dish off, finally getting some movement to the outside. And Cal Poly, physical running.
Dean Hall is definitely their most aggressive runner.
Losing a bit of territory there on that tackle. And the Wildcats with hands on. The snow still coming down in droves here. And that one all the way to the outside. And now some space for Cal Poly. Trucking over a man.
Tucker Barth all the way down the field.
Tucker Barth out on the wing side.
Wow.
And now Cal Poly with some serious momentum. Central Washington reeling, trying to get their defense in line. There's a good tackle there from Central Washington. And the pick and go, unsuccessful there. Game of meters. Cal Poly needs to get something in here with how difficult it has been to score today. And now, finally, some movement up front for Cal Poly as they are knocking on the door. The try line in sight. Can they finish? All day in this spot, there's been penalties and turnovers that have thwarted Cal Poly's attempts to get in for the try. Clean so far as they inch closer. And down near the try line. Can they get in? Advantage
so close.
play.
The offsides advantage goes to.
And huge tackles there. And the offload to the outside. In for the try for Cal Poly.
Yeah, some rough play on the inside by the Wildcat defense there is going to cost them. The advantage goes to Cal Poly right before the try gets scored, and there really wasn't a whole lot keeping them out of where they needed to be on that one.
Julian DeRafael, who managed to slip to the outside.
You know, he's been the man on the receiving end of pretty much just about every Dragoni shot here tonight. I mean, every time he's booted it away, it's been right into the hands of DeRafael. So interesting that tonight he gets his first try.
Yeah, we see him back there kind of as the last line of defense as the fullback, but sees himself on the offensive end, able to break it out wide, use his legs, and sneak past the CWU defenders in for the try.
A difficult conversion attempt here.
Most certainly.
But a conversion attempt here puts the game within a try and conversion. So this a huge kick here if he can convert.
Yeah, one-score matchup with less than 15 remaining after the kick goes down is going to be a very intriguing scenario for the Crimson and Black.
That no good.
A pivotal missed kick.
So we've seen a lot of misconversions here today by both sides. That one probably the biggest of the day so far in terms of the score implications. But this one will remain an 8-point lead for the Wildcats, 20-12.
Oh, and it's far from over. If Cal Poly can keep getting their offense moving like that, obviously they have possession of it now. See if they come back right at the Cats.
Plenty of time.
And the defense from Central Washington looking a little tired out there as the dominance that they once held is starting to disappear. An attempt at the block there, unsuccessful. Vava'o taking this one up. He's been a busy man since he subbed into the game, and he's still rumbling forward.
Cleared out there.
It away.
So Kai Jones, who stepped into the game.
Man, what a kick, too.
A beautiful kick. And that did not go directly into touch.
Man.
So it's from where it went out. So it'll be a line out for Cal Poly. For Central Washington.
What a kick there from CWU's star fly half.
Beautiful kick. And now Central Washington, just like that, in great position. They will award it back to Cal Poly. That's what I thought. I don't think it touched any of them. So Cal Poly will get the line out. I was wondering about that. They switch it at the last second. Central with the defense. They're able to block it. And Central Washington is... Are they in for the try?
It does not seem as so.
They are not. That ball was loose. We didn't have a great angle of it from the booth. But this one will be a drop kick from the goal line. So somehow Cal Poly able to avoid disaster. That ball was loose in the wrong spot, and that could have been devastating, but they're able to get this one out. Far from over for the Wildcats' offensive push, though. Strong play around the ruck. Kai Jones throwing that one out. Dragoning trying to find the winger on the outside, and he's got him. Can he make a man miss? He's taken down, but he's still on his feet. Didn't maintain him down and was able to get up. And that looks like a turnover there as the Wildcats' momentum seemed to be building. But now Cal Poly with a chance to clear this one out of here. So a good change of possession by the Mustangs as they're trying to get this one to the outside. And they've certainly got some space. Forget the clear. They want the territory. That one flipped out and taken down.
Jaden Beer there on the defensive effort.
Oh, and a good jackal there from the Wildcats, but unable to get possession. Trying to clear him off the ruck. A penalty awarded to Central Washington.
A lot of crowd reaction on that last one.
Yeah, they didn't like that. I think he entered the ruck from the side. Might have been the call there, which obviously is a no-go. And Central Washington with a chance here as they are awarded the scrum.
Oscar Tracy will check out of the match.
So Ferrari running out of gas.
Yeah, the subs are making a big impact so far, and it's just a matter of the fresh legs, fresh bodies. Sam Dwyer getting on the outer edge.
Here is the scrum taken in by the scrum half, the sub scrum half, Kai Jones.
Great movement.
Great movement down the wing, and Central Washington finally opening up down the side. It's been quiet all game.
It was very fluid movement as well. It seemed easy to get it to the next man.
Unable to keep possession, though, as Cal Poly gets it back.
There was a brief call of a high tackle.
So advantage given to Cal Poly, and the penalty awarded. This one off the foot of Nicho Domine. Straight into touch, and a line out for Cal Poly off the penalty kick in Wildcat territory.
They're getting into Wildcat territory at good time. We mentioned it's a 2-possession game. They're going to need to get to scoring very fast.
Only about 10 minutes remaining now.
So in what has been an epic showdown between these two teams, coming down to the concluding moments, you're just about into desperation mode if you're Cal Poly and needing to get something go on offense. Maybe they're saving the best for last as they win the line out. That one.
On the ground.
A dirty ball that is picked up by Central Washington.
Whistle blows on that one.
And not sure, it might have been a knock-on.
It was a knock-on.
A knock-on by Central Washington as they tried to recover the dirty ball, unable to do so. So the scrum will be awarded to Cal Poly.
Not the time where you want to commit a penalty like that.
Well, lucky for the Cats. The clock still keeps ticking, though, during these scrums.
The Wildcats certainly content to just let this one
catch their breath, let the clock move.
Yeah, no rush here from the Wildcats.
For our radio listeners, you are listening to Ellensburg Radio, KCWU.
And that scrum blown dead in favor of the Mustangs.
Seen a lot of things in favor of the Mustangs these last couple minutes.
Yeah, the Wildcats getting a little sloppy there.
This is not the time for it.
Absolutely not, as that's a good kick that will set up the Mustangs in good field position, maybe 10 meters away from Central Washington's 22-meter line. And the line out here, Jack Zilligan, who's been a busy man so far tonight. I'm sure he's exhausted, has not stepped out of the game so far. And the front pod there, contested by Central Washington, the offload, and losing territory on the line out, just not what you needed right there. Unable to get into the maul. And the stout defense of Central Washington just has been the deciding factor so far here tonight. Once that line is set, they have not been moving, but in this case they are. And there's an offload, a very good offload from Kobe Baker that puts Cal Poly in position to score. Maybe a knock-on right there.
It'll be a green line out there, so the Mustangs will once again have an opportunity to get the ball in.
They're starting to move the ball with ease, too. Wildcat defense is starting to get tired. Cal Poly's been saving up that energy.
Tired and definitely not the scenario for ideal footing here.
No. It feels like in a scenario like this, the advantage would obviously go to the offense, but it's been a fairly low-scoring game that we've seen.
And winning the line out there.
What a move.
And still rumbling down. That's Kobe Baker with a great run to set Cal Poly up right next to the try line. And a score here would be huge for Cal Poly.
Only about 3 or 4 meters out.
And that one loose, and Central Washington falls on it. Penalty awarded to the Wildcats, and they'll be able to clear this one out.
Huge defensive possession.
Once again, just unable to stay disciplined near the try line is Cal Poly. The scrum awarded to the Wildcats.
I could hear through my earpiece, which has a mic very close to the scrum here, that both sides have players saying we need to win this one.
So probably the most important scrum of the match so far. It's set. This one booted out. Cal Poly with good defense, unable to clear with the Wildcats, so it's still game time here for Cal Poly. Wildcats trying to maintain possession and get any kind of space. They are backed up against it, and the clear successful. And
right into the line.
Right into the fence, trying to field that one as the line out will be awarded to Cal Poly. So a little bit of breathing room here for Central Washington, a desperately needed clear.
You got to respect the effort there from number 15, Julian DeRafael.
Yeah, that fence post will sneak up on you. And the front pod here on the line out. That's a dirty ball picked up by Central Washington. Huge. And just the line out sloppiness continuing for Cal Poly. Vavao, the man you want with the ball in his hand right now, as he's been running wild. Tregoning with a huge clear. Cal Poly maintaining possession, but the clock is winding down. Good tackle from Central Washington. And there's a penalty awarded to the Wildcats.
Fans are loving it. 5 minutes left to go in this match, and it's still a two-possession game. Like you said, Ryan, that last scrum was very important, and it's showing now because if the Cal Poly Mustangs were able to hold on to it and make it a one-possession game, we're talking about a whole different scenario right now.
So the brilliant defense of Central Washington continuing so far as they are able to get that one into touch. And now the field is flipped, and Central Washington has a chance to get aggressive. You've got to think, obviously, another try here by Central Washington. This game's pretty much over. It's already dwindling down to desperation time for Cal Poly.
Got to hold on to the ball, though.
So the Wildcats in no rush here.
Just fall to the ground and ruck. Waste some time.
Tregoning clearing this one out. It's fielded. The clear sent right back, and that one goes straight into touch, and Central Washington will get the line out from where he kicked it.
Can tell in the body language of the Mustangs right now, they're starting to feel a little bit out of it, obviously doing whatever they can to get back, but seeming more and more recognizable from the Mustangs that this one's inching closer to the end.
So the line out that the Wildcats have been almost perfect on tonight, both on the offensive and defensive side, that one goes awry. Announcers jinxed it. And rumbling forward, Cal Poly, they need a last gasp right here, right now. And they've got some space, and they've got numbers on the outside. But once again, rallying to the ball is Central Washington with strong tackling. Out of the ruck. And right back into another as the Wildcats' tackles have been superb tonight. Taken down again, losing territory. They need something, and they need it now.
And it's not that.
As they're going to be knocked loose, and the Wildcats will get it, but it looks like there was a call.
It'll be offsides against the Wildcats.
So offsides on the Cats, penalty awarded. And the scrum will be awarded, to Cal Poly.
Still in the possession of the Mustangs, so game is not just over yet.
They'll have less than 2.5 minutes to make something happen here off the scrum.
Got to make quick work.
You've got to think it would take a miracle here from Cal Poly, as even a trying conversion does not get them even tied in this match so far. Trying to find some space down the outside. And another penalty awarded to Central Washington. Just unable to get out of their own way are the Mustangs.
And that might have just cost them this match.
Might have iced it.
Yeah, this one ticking down. And Tregoning, the Dragon, who's been unbelievable today with his ball placement, comes up huge again.
Looking for open space. Not a bad play.
Contested. Good job there by Dwyer, and a tackle. And pretty much all but over here in Ellensburg.
Playing for pride now.
A good offload, and now there's some space. Hold everything. unable to get the momentum necessary, and now you play this game of meters that the Wildcats have been winning so far tonight.
Right back to familiarity.
A skip pass that is bobbled by Dwyer and picked up.
Oh, wow.
And it looked like there was an offload there. Sorry, a knock-on that will be given to the Wildcats.
So just a great job of right time, right place for the Crimson and Black tonight, who have really just found themselves in striking zone every time that the ball is in their hands.
Well, and they're even playing great defense even when they get behind the offensive player of Cal Poly. They're still able to make plays, knock the ball loose like we just saw Sam Dwyer do there.
Doing a really good job here tonight of playing aggressive but not committing many penalties, not giving up a whole lot of possession.
Not the case for Cal Poly, as the penalties have been in devastating locations for them around the try line, like we've said tonight, as just about 5 seconds left before this hits the 80-minute mark. We'll see how much time the ref wants to add on. Tregoning hit as he launches this one away. And you've got to think this one will be ended sooner than later. The Wildcats maintaining possession. The 80-second mark hit. That one will go out. And that will wrap this one up as Central Washington takes down number 16 Cal Poly at home in a snowy matchup that we were not entirely anticipating. We weren't sure the snow was going to be this bad. But Central Washington clawing away with the win. It was a physical matchup. Hats off to Cal Poly for a great performance here today. And this match, again, ending in favor of the Wildcats, 20-12. So the Wildcats now 5-0 against Cal Poly. They have never lost to the Mustangs, and that continues here today. The next home game that the Wildcats have will be against Trinity Western, and that is on March 8th at 2 p.m. So the Wildcats, with a couple of games in between then against St. Mary's and UCLA, both ranked teams, the Wildcats looking to stake their claim as one of the best teams in the nation. They play number 3 St. Mary's next week. That is all from Cash Brown, Jackson Roberts, and Ryan Gildersleeve. We are signing off. Thanks for tuning in.